Okay, so I decided today I'm going to do some crafting. It's one of the things that I do the most in the game, but I don't stream very much because I have my business to look after and stuff to do that I've got to keep it ticking over and things. So the first thing I'm looking at, snort, is a domestics trader, which means he can do clothes or food. Food I do the most because clothes is a very niche thing. People want specific things. You don't make a ton of money. There he is. You can see him behind there. You don't make a ton of money doing that. It's clothing is kind of more fun than anything, but you can do reverse engineering with any trader class apart from, well, shipwright reverse engineers parts. So you don't do the skill tapes, but you can do the reverse engineering of skill tapes if you're domestics for clothes. So I've started doing that for clothes. But at the minute, I'm going to do food stuff. I like the idea of being a chef. In the, you know, what you're going to do in the Star Wars universe. I'm going to be a chef. You know, I've always imagined not waving a lightsaber around. I just want to cook pie. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook some Pyolian cake, or start it cooking in the factories. I'm not a super crafter, by the way. I'm not a hugely dedicated. I don't have hundreds of factories running, and I'm not constantly looking for resources. I tend to buy my resources off the bazaar, so I don't have to spend too much time hunting those down. I don't do a lot of creature gathering either. Like I say, I just buy stuff from the bazaar. It's the crafting part rather than the gathering part that I enjoy the most. Good morning, Druas. How are you doing? Day 2 of the massive move. Hope it's going well. Any updates? Any problems so far? Is it a case of putting everything in the truck and driving yourself? Or do you have the delivery dudes doing it? Yeah, so like I was saying, I'm going to make some Pyolian cake today, inert petrochemical. But in order to make other stuff, I'm used up. The thing that costs the most and is the hardest to make, takes the longest, and is kind of the most resource intensive is the resources for this cost the most. It's the nanonutrients for the heavy food additive that you need. And I have a couple of things that I can try, but I don't think I have the resources. I think I used up my last resources that will make this a capped nanonutrient. Isn't it exciting stuff, crafting? It is kind of. So I just want to check through that. These are schematics that I've already created. So I have the resource names. So I know I can make it a capped one, but I need to make it again. So I need Aplov and Eoldar. I know Eoldar is a type of mollusk meat that I got, and it's this stuff here. It's very good stuff, but I only have 26k of it, and I need 75k. Each one is 75 per unit, and we make 1,000 units. So we could go to the bazaar and have a look for some more of that. And I think I have Aplov. What's Aplov? It's this. It's domesticated rice. And you can see it has really high potential energy and overall quality, and the flavour is pretty high. It's okay, it'll do the job, but we need something a bit stronger so that we can cap it, and that is the... You know, I find it really hard to believe that this insect meat won't cap the nanonutrient, but I don't think it will. I've tried it, and I don't want to waste any more resources looking for it. So we'll get... let's pick up the Eoldar and the Aplov. We'll try and make some more of that, and I'll see if there's any Eoldar on the bazaar. Doing it ourselves. Oh, family been around and trying to get the money internet provider to come out and give me a wireless router. There's lots of stuff to flipping figure out when you're moving. It's crazy. Everything seems like there's a war going on, and you're kind of homeless, and you know, everything's in boxes. You don't have anywhere nice to sit. You always feel on the edge when you're moving. I can sense it. I can feel the feeling, and it's not nice until you settle back down again in your home and your new home. I hope it doesn't take too long. Okay, where are we going? Yeah, I don't have anything else. I bought this milk and it was a bad purchase. I bought it because it had that really high potential energy and overall quality, but the flavour is rubbish. So I should have bought one with slightly less potential energy and overall quality and more flavour. You live and learn. You live and learn. Okay, so I'm going to go and get my cake out of the oven. Let's go and do that. And I'll put some sound on. We don't have any sound at the minute. Here we go. Can barely hear it. Background music, effects, volume. It has to be a certain level for the kind of background sounds to come in, I find. Oh, so settle in. I thought what I could do is stream a little bit this week, and for anyone who's shut in suffering with this ongoing virus stuff, I can be a point of socialization and chat to people. So hopefully I can fulfill that function as well. So if anyone is shut in, we can have a little old chat. Okay, so here is my oven. We're gonna get what's in here. It's not finished. I thought the cake would be finished by now. It's not. And this is my. I have the. What was I making? I was making paella. I have it written down on my notepad. I have sweet cake mix and Kammerkan steak. The steak is an interesting one. Doesn't need any additives. I said interesting. You know, it's all subjective, isn't it? So you can make that without additives. You still need the decent stuff that, and I wasn't able to cap that this time. I think I spent millions on capping it, and I'm turning off the what you say? I'm taking my foot off the gas with that. I don't need to cap everything. I just wanted to create the best stuff, but sometimes you pay through the nose for it, as we say in the UK. You just pay over the odds, and people. I'm not sure people actually care about it being capped. They care more about. Seems to me. What the hell? Grass? Green grass on Tatooine? What the hell? A large potted style tree, style 3? Actually, an outdoor large potted tree, style 3. I'm going to write that down because I do want a new tree. A large potted tree, style 3. We are going to see if there's one of those on the bazaar. But what is it doing here? Is this someone's house and it's kind of not... And it's been destroyed and it's not deleted itself from the world properly? Maybe I should... There should be a button for bug reports. Maybe there is. I don't know what it is. Screw it. Yeah, so when my wife went out this morning, she's a little bit worried, you know, because there was no bread. And people were buying up all the things in the supermarkets, panic buying essentially, and that frightens people. So people are their own worst enemies sometimes. They make their own worst nightmares come true. We're worried that the food's going to run out. The food isn't going to run out because supply chains are still open. It's not like 50% of the population can't work, so everything is working. But people are worried that the shelves are going to be empty, and then they go out and make it so by panicking. If you just go out and buy what you need, there'd be no supply problems. Those people are causing the problem. They're causing the shortages by panicking, and it scares people. So I'll just do that little search there. Large potted plant style 3. I've just seen it on the desert in Tatooine, just sticking out of the ground. Large potted plants. We have style 1, style 2, and style 3 we want. That's weird. So it's written differently. It definitely was Roman italics, Roman numerals. It was 3 I's. I. For the plant 3. We'll try a few variations so you can nail it down. Potted plant. That one. Potted plant 3. Well, it's not there, is it? Okay. So Eoldar. This is going to be expensive. Well, we'll see what the going rate is. The good thing with the resource containers is you can just nail down really easily once you know the resource name. It's this. That's quite good, actually. 50,000. Maybe I can spend. It's 1,750,000 for the mollusk meat that I need. But it's an investment, you see. It will allow me to create a load of food that I will recoup the money. So I will go for that one, since we do have one that doesn't cost 3 million, over 3 million. We'll go and grab that, and then I can make some heavy nutrients. Where is this? Vendor, mollusk. It is on Talus. Let's go and get it. And is there anything else that I need to get? I don't think so. I really thought that today I would be able to jump on and do a little bit more crafting, because I didn't think that cake mix was going to take that long. Are you excited yet? Are you creaming your cakes with excitement? But I was thinking about this the other day, you know, I was trying to convince someone that people are interested in crafting and the kind of the side of the game that is not combat. And I thought, well, put your money where your mouth is. If you think that, why aren't you streaming it? Screw it. We'll try it. People can just turn off. All right, where's your meat? So what people do is this. I did grab a load of this, but I didn't farm it super hard. There's a little. It was mollusk meat, which is hard to get hold of. It's not one of the main resource categories. It was added later to the game, and it has a weird way of getting it. You need a special shellfish survey device. Shellfish survey device, and you don't get much of it at a time. You can't put a harvester down to kind of automate it. You have to be there AFK surveying, sampling. So that was what I was doing, and I grabbed a load of it. But other people had like 3 characters there, and they were there 24/7. So and what they do is, while the resource is there in the world, you can get hold of it. They don't sell anything, and then when it goes away, they have all these minerals, these resources hoarded, and then they start putting them on the bazaar when you can't actually get them anymore. It's good business sense, but it does mean those things can be very expensive. So it's all swings and roundabouts with the crafting. You've got to make those investments and think, am I going to be able to recoup this money? $1 million is nearly 2 million for some resources. It's not a trivial amount, but I know I can make a good load of, say, Denelian fizz pudding from that, and 1,000 units of Denelian fizz pudding priced pretty low will net me around 6 million if it all sells, and it gradually will all sell. So you will be in profit. It will just take a while to come through. So you lose a bit of money to make money in the longer term. That's the idea. Stacking's in the house. Oh yeah. Well, I thought I could come on and chat to people and contribute a little bit by keeping people company if they're shutting their homes and whatnot. Oh, how are you doing today? Hope you're all healthy and well. Like I was saying, I'm just doing some crafting, so it might not be the most action-packed stream, but we had an action-packed stream yesterday, so this will be more of a maybe a chill stream. I'm going to make some cake. I'm going to make some nutrients to put in the cake to make sure that all those combat characters have all the block and all the look coming from the juicy food. That's the main thing. They bite into that Denilian fizz pudding and they can feel the look squirting down their throats. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, so you have got some of this Eoldar mollusk meat that I need, have you? Always fun to see how people have decorated. Oh, okay, here we go, sound effects. Let's bring the master volume down. I wish they would get rid of that shit. Stop putting copyright music in the game. Oh, it's the same one. I think I've been here before. I remember this droid. So Eoldar. It's good they've split it up into some decent levels. I don't feel like spending 3 million today, so that's perfect for me. Got 50,000 and we need 75k for the nutrient. So, oh, it's always hard when you're spending that amount of money on something, isn't it? To click OK. But it's got to be done. All right, sound back on. I got my coffee this morning because I just fancied a coffee, but I know that it's going to make me want to go for a wee. Okay. Got a little shuttle here. It's going to take me to the top. Take me to the business top with my business crafter. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I'm doing good at the minute. Got a little bit of time during the day to stream, so I thought I could stream. I sometimes think that I have to specifically be doing something very, very interesting in Galaxies or whatever game, but particularly in Galaxies. And I don't stream some stuff that I do all the time and find absorbing because I think I'm worried about entertaining people. Fair enough. But why have I run past a flight console? Go back home. I don't think I need anything else. We could actually go and do this now. I'm all buffed and everything. I'm pretty buff. Yeah, let's go to there and travel. Yeah, I have just my little checklist because you can't cap the resource unless you've got all the skill points and power-ups and so on. So make sure I'm properly buffed and then we'll do that. Once we arrive, I'm going to go to this player city, which is very nicely put its crafting stations. It's our public, so I can go there and get a little bit boost from that research city and use their crafting stations, which are all maxed at 45. That helps our research. And then we've got the Denilian fizz pudding to use. Clothing power-ups for crafting food. They give a boost to food assembly. And then we have these food buffs as well to use. And I have my gear for my crafting suit for food crafting, food assembly and food experimentation on these pieces. So that'll bump us up. Got to make sure I'm wearing that if I'm doing some crafting. Hello I93PO. I just made your name up. I have no idea what your name is. Huh? Huh? Don't look at me like that. They all look so gormless, don't they? These poor protocol droids. It's like you were designed to be put upon with a face like that. Based on the golden woman in the Metroid film, the original, not Metroid, Metropolis. In the film Metropolis, C-3PO, wasn't he? It's a little bit of knowledge for you. Just a little bit free of charge, that. Free of charge. Yeah, I'm very curious about those trees. What were they doing in the middle of the desert on Tatooine? That's weird. Welcome to VOD. If you would like to move here, I mean, you know, it'd be nice to move to a city, but I kind of like my little hill, so I have to find these crafting stations in research cities. So let's craft this food. So, oh, wrong one. I don't need you out. A big droid thing. I just have my checklist here. What do I need? Got my entertainer buff. Equipped gear. Power-ups. Let's activate all three of those. 1. Armor power-up. Weapon power-up. Clothing power-up. And then food is the next thing. So you have to use 1 Pyolian cake every time you craft a piece of food. And then we do the food crafting. We're going to make some intelligent nanonutrients. We need to get it up to 120 to cap it, which we should be able to do with these 2 resources. So it's going to be the mollusk meat twice and the domesticated rice once. And then assemble. Fingers crossed for a great success. Do we have one? Well, we've got 29 experimentation points, which is good. We want it on 29. That's the max you can get. And then we just have to keep using all our experimentation. So use the Bespin port to boost success rates. Run experiment. 118. I have 1 point left. I don't think I will experiment for that because it's not going to make a difference. So nutrition bonus up in the top left. 118. And now we're going to 120. Boom! And that's a good nanonutrient. And that is required if you're going to be making decent food. So I've got a factory schematic for that. And I think that's all I can do. All my other factories are tied up for now. My food factories. Creating foods. So we will go and plug this into the factory and start it going. And this is the one that the nanonutrients and other tissues for the food, nutrients for the food. That's the thing that costs, that takes the longest, costs the most to make. And you can't sell them on the bazaar for a profit. I've looked into it. It's not worth it. Doesn't pan out. You need to make your own. What I could do is a little bit of organising as well. I could take some more Denelian fizz pudding to Mos Eisley, which is where people shop. Sometimes they don't want to come to your vendor, so I take a supply. I make a supply run to Mos Eisley. It's kind of Star Wars, isn't it? You're a chef guy. And I went for this just because I think food is interesting. The idea, I think, from memory, I did a video about it. Yeah, the idea was to use all my different characters together and bring the food and stuff to Snut Snort, who could craft it. But it hasn't really panned out that way. I haven't enjoyed the resource gathering as much as I would have liked. And in the meantime, I got into reverse engineering. So I just keep doing the food stuff because he is a chef, but I'm not doing that stuff with the characters, the other characters. It's a lot of time for kind of scant reward. There's other stuff I'd rather be doing, and when you're harvesting creature resources, that's the milk, bone, hide, eggs, whatever that you need for the food. it's all well and good, but there you need to be at the camera chasing at the keyboard chasing mobs, and if I'm at the keyboard doing something, I would rather be doing something combat-y than just attacking creatures at this stage. I used to really love it in the early game, and that's what I was thinking about, because it was one of the reliable sources of content in the game when it was scant content. But it would be nice if there were a way to check the stats on these, but I just have to guess it's the last one in my inventory. But nowadays there are so many other things to be doing. I don't want to spend a lot of time chasing mobs around for meat and stuff. There are better ways to make money or have fun. Not what I thought, but there we go. Alright, we're crafting. So we've got nutrients in here, steak in here, and sweet cake mix in here, which we're going to turn into Paolian cake for crafters. There we go. Alright. Let's make that supply run to Mos Eisley. I didn't realise that I said Mos. It seems like I do. I say Mos Eisley. Moss. We'll see who's there, see how busy it is. It does seem busy in the middle of the day for me in the UK. It seems busy and busier than usual, which would make sense if a lot of people are at home. Maybe that is the reason for it. Okay, so vendor, shopkeep mukluk. Why did I come in here? What was I going to do? That's right, I was going to do a supply run. So let's take some of this off the bazaar. Off my vendor. Denelian fizz pudding. Den pudding. Okay, let's take it. I've still got quite a lot of it to sell. This is the last time I did a thing with a heavy nutrient. Hi, Haramir. Good to see you. I've nearly been playing for a month and I've gone through so many. So do you have 4 that you're running actively? Draw sale. Sometimes I don't realise what I've just said. Did I ask you if you've got a ton of characters? I have 5 that I kind of actively use. So it would be nice to have more, but I think they have to find the balance between taking away the need for anyone else in the game. You know, it is an MMO, and if you give everyone the ability to have unlimited characters, retrieve item, then the core of the MMO goes away. There's no reason for people to socialize. Already being able to log in 3 characters renders some content that's supposed to be for a group doable by 1 person. So I think they've probably got the balance about right. I would not like to go back to the days of 1 character, but by the same token, I don't want them to give us 20, a stable of 20, because you could literally do everything in the game and there'd be no need to interact with anyone else on the server, which would be bad for the server. Okay, so where are we going now? Mos Eisley. I finished my coffee already. Yeah, I've switched around a lot more than I thought I would. I think once you've got a handle on the grind, the XP grind, you can grind up pretty fast in this game, particularly entertainers and traders. It's not too long if you want to change profession, and of course traders are good for just swapping between professions, but I have leveled up 1, 2, 3, 4 combat characters at this stage, so and that takes a bit longer, but there are workarounds. Once you've got one, I love that thing, once you've got one high level character, he can kind of take your new character around to some of the high level quests and get him the XP for that, so you can boost them up levels really fast. This might be a mutated, kind of a Sligtooth ball. I can't remember seeing any of those in the wild, but it may be just something I've forgotten about. I wonder if it's a mutation. I think they've also added a couple of new kinds of mutation in just for legends, but I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the beast mastery. Yeah, that is true. But the profession thing, yeah, it would be a shame because it kind of takes out the heart of the game, doesn't it? Like, if you want to do everything yourself, you know, don't play an MMO kind of thing. All right. So in Tatooine on this planet. Let's do this region. Let's see what Denelian pudding. I think mine is the only one here, or it's the cheapest anyway. Yeah, that's mine. Is it? Details, snort. Yeah. So I'm pricing it really low, but you know, I'm not making a huge profit, but that's the way it sells for me. I don't know how people are making so much money otherwise. But you can only, I think you can only have 20. And people seem to like smaller stack sizes in Mos Eisley, so I'm going to do split 5. And you know, it uses up the space and stuff, but I think people, when they're buying in Mos Eisley, obviously it's a starting zone. So we'll see how many of these we can actually put online. We can list up on the bazaar before I run out of slots. But I mean, you could be stubborn and say, no, you have to come to my vendors. But people don't always know how to do that. And even if they do, well, it's part of being a good business person, isn't it? A salesperson, you go to where the customers are. You don't expect them to go out of their way for you. So we put a lot of these 5s out. A crate of 5 Denelian Fizz Pudding for 30,000. You can't get better than that. Lowest deal ever. That's come to me for your bargains. It's like McDonald's. Doesn't cost anything. Might not be the most nutritious. Actually it is. It's alright. It's not capped. It's 1436. That's not the cap for the amount of time that it goes for. Alright, let's try some more. How many have I got there on the bazaar? I think I could fit a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So maybe I can do a few more of these. Let's do a few more 10s. Do want to make a bit of money. 10. Let's try and list those and one more. We'll see. Split 5. Split 10. We'll see if we can get all those up. Sell an item. Yeah, 60k for those. If you want 10 Denelian Fizz Pudding, you need to pay. But we don't mark. There's no markup. A nice guy. Oh, I'm still going, so I can do more than I thought. I thought you could only do 20 items, but we'll keep going until I run out of space, I guess. 10, split 5, split 10. Try that. We keep going. Sell that. Sell those items, dude. We'll do the 5s first. 5. 30k. 30 bob to you, sir. Sell item. Too many auctions. We've reached our cap. That's okay. It's fine. Which was to be expected. Alright. Shall we go? Where shall we go now? Where am I up to? We'll go and dump these back at the vendor. And oh, I need to go and check on my. I have a harvester running. I just came across some. I think it's more grinding metal than anything else, but it might be useful for Techto, who's an armor smith. I haven't done much armor smithing with him. I made a Mandalorian chest plate with him and a couple of composite chest plates, but I bought most of the components because I don't have a lot of metal. I have metal stockpiled, but it's not great. None of it's good condition. It's just for grinding. Oh, mail. What did I sell? Look at that. It sold straight away to Ambnor. Interesting. Let's go to Yavin. And I think it was near the labour outpost. We'll just go and check it. I can't imagine that it's still... My harvester is still running. It's been up for like 2 weeks. I'm used to the resources cycling a bit faster than that. Didn't expect to get so many minerals. It's through the jungles here. Ooh. Jedi fighting, very dangerous. Fighting, is he fighting snakes? Oh, he's got a snake called Crawley. I imagine it's a snake with a name like Crawley. He has. Very dangerous fighting snake. Very dangerous. Snake fighting. Here we go. Are you pumping? It looks like the pumps have stopped. It's still making a lot of noise. Are you grinding? Ripley, you're just grinding metal. Ease down. Turn on, harvester. Alright, so the resources have changed. Let's see if there's anything else by sheer fluke that is of a decent... There's some decent metal here. Let's start it going 84. And just turn on the harvester. We'll take what we've got already. Retrieve resource. It looks like the resource shifted just as I started to harvest that next load of metal. So this steel that is here has good shock resistance and good heat resistance. So that I'm not very hot on what is needed for armor smiths, but I know shock resistance and heat resistance are important. So I think we'll just keep it running. Just keep pulling in minerals for now. I will destroy that because not really needed. And status, where are we up to? We've got 7 days power. What we might do is go and get some power to keep it going. Run back, grab some power. That won't take very long. And then I don't have to think about it for like another month. We can just keep pulling in that steel. We got a business going, selling food. But we occasionally pull in minerals. And I mean, even if it's rubbish minerals, it's still good for grinding. So if you just put a mineral harvester down somewhere, fill it with power and top up the maintenance and then just leave it running for a couple of weeks. Then you've got some minerals that you can put on the bazaar, sell cheaply for anyone who's grinding up professions or needs it for whatever reason, really. Alright, just remind me that I need that power because I will forget. Travel back to Mos Enther. I should have brought it with me. If I was thinking ahead, I should have brought my power with me, but there you go. There's 5 people in the chat. There's 5 people watching, but no one talking. But I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad you're all enjoying the stream. Don't have to talk. Sometimes I like to know who's watching, though. Say hello. All right. Oh, it's night time. Time has passed fast on Tatooine. I'm not sure if they changed it at some point where the storms, the sandstorms, don't happen as often as they used to. And when they do happen, they don't seem to last very long. I remember sandstorms happening for weeks on end at one time in the game. Haramir, thank you. I appreciate it. No, I appreciate that. It's nice to just sit back and watch. I don't do a lot of chatting with streamers. I just watch streamers, so I get that totally. I just hope it's of interest to you doing the crafting, because, like I say, it's not something a lot of people stream. But I was listening to the Massively OP podcast. Bree, the editor at Massively, is thinking of doing a crafting video, and I was saying, totally, we need that. And then it occurred to me, well, you don't do it. And she was saying, yeah, I don't do it because I don't think it'll be interesting to people. And yeah, that's the reason I don't do it. But I think people are interested. I think they are. And there's 5 people in the chat who proves it. So there we go. Oh, it's James Crosby. Hey, thank you. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. Are you stuck in because of this flipping virusy thing? Yeah, thank you for stopping by. James is the guy who wrote the Empire Remembered book. We did a podcast about it as well on the channel, and it's a great book if you guys have not read it. What was I doing? Yeah, put this Denelian fizz pudding back. Yeah, and she was saying that she's worried about doing it. So I thought, screw it. I'm gonna try and do it and see if people watch. See if people will continue watching. Like initially on Twitch, see if people stick around, and then if I post this to YouTube, we'll see if people watch it there. Because a lot of people do craft in this game, so why don't we see more videos about it? We see loads of people doing the legacy quest. Let's go through the legacy quest. No, we've all done the legacy quest, and it's boring as hell. We've all done it a million times. Sorry, I burped. Well, all I need to do is put this flipping pudding back. 15. There we go. 15,000. No, is that right? Seems expensive. Yeah. What have I? Where's my list? What do I sell for? Yeah, a crate of 25. I sell for that amount of money. And it's cheap. Seems like a lot though, doesn't it? It kind of sneaks up on you there. It takes you by surprise. Am I asking that much money? Yeah. And it's not, that's not even expensive. Not in the game as it stands anyway. All right. Does anyone know where to get a large potted style plant style 3? Because I saw one popping up from the flipping ground over there. Oh, Haramir's got a copy of the book. Nice. Yeah, it's great. I love having that as a resource. My bookshelf. Occasionally flick through. And James went to all the effort of going in and getting all pictures of like the different models of all the speeders and stuff, and creating composites of all of that, so you can look at all the speeders together and that were ever in the game and stuff that you've never seen anywhere else. It's great. Yeah. All right. Yeah, those. Did I show you those trees? Look. That is really weird. I think someone's had a house down here and it's not deleted properly from the world. But obviously when I saw these trees on Tatooine, I was like, oh! It's a large potted tree, style 3. And I can't find that on the bazaar. I want one. But whatever I type in, it doesn't seem to show up. Look at this Rebel Assault Commando having a good look at it. And I mean, he's as confused as I am. You can't see his expression. But I imagine it's one of sheer confusion. What the hell? I know, dude. Well, just you'd stand around here guarding it just in case. I don't know. You might want that. Some rebels, some Imperials can steal it. We be on because I have a Legends account. Don't play much. Still log on, claim the monthly vet reward. Hey, I can just claim it and pass it on to you. It's okay. I don't. I'm not worried about like. I appreciate the offer and stuff, but I've got so much stuff now. People are really kind and things, but you know, I don't want to get into the thing of taking gratuities off people. You know, when I'm streaming and stuff. I think it's a. Yeah, it doesn't feel right, but I appreciate it. Keep it, dude. Use it as a decoration, whatever it is. Decorate your house, make some money. I would rather you did that. Armor smithing. People have been very kind, and it's very nice early on in the game. But I've been playing this game 18 months now. I have so much money and so much stuff that to take freebies from people, it's all right for newbies, but I'm not a newbie anymore, so I shouldn't really be doing that. There'll be a newbie out there. That's one way to look at it. There'll be a character out there somewhere that would love that as a gift, and they'd be able to sell it, or they'd have a special item that they wouldn't get otherwise. So I would suggest finding someone who's new to the game and making their day. Okay. So we've put all our minerals back. Let's top up the harvester. This is a little bit like I don't like having tons of harvesters running, so just have one. But I like to keep it topped up with resources. It's just all these things all over the galaxy that you can't remember. We'll do it with wind. We'll just fart down the power tube. Got some wind energy here. Take me, I mean it. Alright. Yeah, I don't like having too much crap out in the world, so I got my factories nearby, but like having a fleet of 50 harvesters or whatever, which you could potentially do in this game, because you can have 5 characters. I've seen these fields of harvesters, but yeah, that's too much busy work for me with regards to the crafting. So a little trip back to Yavin. Just put this power in. Stick this power in the harvester. Travel. Yeah, and I hope people are being sensible, like on the roads and stuff. There were 2 car crashes this morning, which is unusual for like kind of where we live. Like 2 crashes. So I don't know what if people are speeding down to the supermarkets for bread, whatever it is. In like 3 or 4 months, when we look back at all these posts from people talking about the virus, it'll just be such a common thing that's become the new normal, that everyone's integrated into their lives. It'll be strange to look back and he's still at it. Very dangerous. Snake fighting. Very dangerous. Grinding rebels and grinding... I don't think he's fighting snakes, he's fighting rebels. Yeah, so I got Techto as an armor smith, and I mean, his potential for making like breastplate attachments and stuff, more reverse engineering than armor crafting. Deposit power. How much power shall we deposit? Shall we deposit 50k of power? Powered on. Status. 18 days, that's not very much, but it's not great energy. Let's try and get the power and the maintenance up to the same level here. Like I said, it's going to be a thrilling stream. 20k of minerals. But people watch all if people watch flipping Europa Universalis or whatever that's called, they surely watch Crafting in Galaxies. Deposit Power. I mean, that game's boring as tits to watch. I'm only joshing, or am I? And anyway, tits aren't boring. Bad analogy. Hey, you got a little harvester next to mine. Look at his little dinky harvester. Oh, you're gonna get your minerals and everything, aren't you? Gonna have 5 minerals. Sorry, I shouldn't take the piss out of people's toddler harvester. The child's harvester. Baby's first harvester there. We all have to start somewhere. Maybe that's why the Jedi's here, is trying to stop snakes getting close to the harvester. It's very dangerous fighting the snake. And you know, and that could be... There is a limit to what you can do as a crafter because things take time. There is necessary downtime where you're waiting for your factories. And that's why I like reverse engineering, which I could show a little bit of that on stream because I don't know if everyone knows how to reverse engineer. It's a later system that was added to the game. And it is something that, unlike the other crafting professions, which, like I say, take time to create the stuff in factories, I've kind of reached the point now, I'm just waiting for my factories to pump out that gear I've crafted this morning and the stuff I crafted the other day, but I've not got anything actively to do apart from browse the bazaar, perhaps, do some decorating with Snot. I could do that, actually. It would be kind of nice to have a look and see if we can find that Style 3 potted plant. Let's do some bazaar browsing a little bit. Just one second, I just nipped to the loo. I thought, suckers! There's still 5 people here looking at a bazaar loading screen. There we go. You guys, props. Oh, Gerian. Oh, geez, is it Gurgen? Gurgen TV has followed. Thank you for the follow. Right, we're looking for furniture, miscellaneous, furniture, decorations, perhaps a small. It was a potted plant, style 3. Potted. There you go. A potted fern, a potted lesser plant, a potted plant. Could it be that? I mean, maybe when it's in the world, it looks different. Morning, Gurgen. Oh, but that is something new. That is a potted plant that I don't have. So we might not find what we're a shrubbery. You know, a shrubbery with a little path. A path. Wow, but these are expensive, look. how much the cheapest one is? Nearly 2 million. My God, a potted fern. I want my little garden area for Snort. He's like turned his bedroom into a garden. He's a psychopath. I'm looking for bargains this morning. A small tree, a miniature Life Day tree. I've already got one of those, and I don't want the one with the lights on that looks like Christmas. I don't know why so much for plants. It's anything that's rare, isn't it? I mean, this is it's a good way of learning about humanity sometimes, playing MMOs. It's like, I don't know, I mean, this is just another graphical object created by probably the same 3D engineer, and it just has a 1% drop rate, and therefore it costs 5 million, whereas everything else is 50k. It's rarity. And that's why we have companies creating, you know, artificial scarcity and stuff. This limited edition Boba Fett helmet, limited to 5,000 pieces. But it's still mass produced. That Jedi banner. Does anyone in the chat know where whereabouts those flags might be that you can sort of stick outside your house? A different sign on the front of your house? I don't know, but what the options are. But I've seen a few that look kind of nice. Would like a different kind of. Ooh, that's good. But I don't have anywhere really for that data terminal to look good in my house. And I'm not really a rebel base or anything like that. It's kind of like the readout from the Hoth base, isn't it? Buying up all the TP when things go crazy. Toilet paper, yeah, exactly. There's going to be a black market for toilet paper. Five bob to you, sir. There we go. Got lots of data terminals. Anyway, I'm looking for a plant. Let's just type plant. A large potted. Shoot, was it called tree or fern or plant? Let's put plant. But there's going to be everything, like everything in the world. It's just too much stuff. We could be at this forever. I mean, if we could just find a large potted tree. I was putting potted plants, so the potted tree is not expensive at all. We can grab it. I'm having that. I've got another kind of tree and another one here that looks very similar. Why is that number 4? What's the difference? Let me make it bigger because I'm aware my stream is not of the highest quality. That's style 4. That's style 3. They look identical to me. I think the branches are perhaps slightly different formation. I like the one with the branches a little bit more spread out. Let's do that. Let's go and grab it. That's not much money. Well, a little bit of money. Maybe number 3 is a bit. Let's mess around with that first. We'll go and grab that. Waypoint to vendor. And I could do a little bit of decorating. This is like another of the little side things you can do in Galaxies, isn't it? Check wiki for some locations. Locations to what? Where are we going? Talos. Let's go to Talos and buy a tree. We're going to Talos to buy a tree. They've added a new Jedi theme park. There are Sith to kill. I'm heading to Talos to buy a tree. See ya. I don't know. I will get round to the other stuff. House signs. Oh, check wiki for some locations. Got a link if you want to permit. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you might be able to post in the chat. I don't know whether I've turned off permissions. Large potted tree. There we go. Someone out in the middle of nowhere selling stuff. So the closest shuttle port looks like New Coruscant. Is it Coruscant or Coruscant? You be the judge. Category house signs. Nice. Thank you, dude. We'll have a look at that in a second. Get the front of the house. It's one of the few things that you can put on the front of the houses in Galaxies to make them a little bit distinct. I went past one that was a nice. They have these nice rebel and galactic, but you need to be in the factions and doing that stuff. I have a couple of characters that are, but they don't actively do much. It makes no sense for my house to be faction aligned. I've always really been like, from the very start of the game, the early run up to the game, talking to my guild, getting to know people on the forums before the game even came out. We were talking about what's our focus in game, and it was always neutral. Let's be a neutral faction. We are traders, we're business people, we're probably covertly support one side or another, but we're not overt rebels and stuff. We're kind of war profiteers. I always gravitated towards that side of things more. What kind of trees? Maybe this guy specialises in trees. It'd be interesting to know where all these things come from and why some are so much more expensive than others. What do they drop from? What ancient Sith drops? That's the... Ah, okay, this could be why. I don't think I'm going to be able to put this in my house. I think it's a city decoration. Ah, there you go. There's one. That looks kind of nice. It's a little bit new agey. I'm not sure it fits. Maybe it does fit. It's not. It's from the Moon Galactic Moon Festival, the Halloween celebration that they do annually. Not too keen on that one. It has a bat on it, and I'm not sure bats exist in Star Wars. Tree. We can try it. I think it's not going to work though. It's only 75k. Let's buy it and we can see if we can place it in the house. That explains why it's outside there in the world though. Maybe someone was trying to like form a city there, but I think it's the stuff that was on the sand. There was a tree that like glitched outside Mos Eisley, but maybe someone was like trying to do a city or something. Come on, give me a... There we go. Stopped it. Thank you. Rattle trap. Good old rattle trap. That's all we need. We don't need anything more flashy than that. I kind of remember the asteroid with the giant worm. What's it called? The Exogorth? Exogarm? Something? Giant alien bats. Yeah, Minox. Not technically bats, though. They look like they're kind of bat-like, I guess. Oh, I need a flipping ticket. A new item been added to the game. These like oven mitts that are in the shape of that worm that's on the asteroid in Empire. They're called Exogorth gloves, I think. They're very silly. Very silly. And unfortunately they started dropping from... Why? I'm not out of range though, am I? I'm right next to it. Dropping from everything in the Deathwatch bunker, so I wasn't getting any drops. I was just getting worm-shaped oven mitts. We appreciate the addition. New content. Ah, I think I've lost connection here. Test. T. Test. Test. Yeah, I have. Hang on, guys. We'll figure this out. Let me log out and then log back in. I have to close when I lose connection like that. I have to close the client entirely and then boot it back up. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I find a soft reboot, relog, whatever you call it, doesn't work. Close the launcher and then open the launcher again. Come on, galaxies. We've not been streaming long enough for you to fail us. We're not failed. Just a little bit of jitters there. What I really want, and what I'm starting to think of now, is what POB ship am I going to use? Which is a multi-person ship. POB stands for portable object. I was listening to someone the other day who thought it meant person on board. It's a portable object. It was what they used to describe an object in the game that allows you to move like characters within the game as an object through the game, but the characters are within the object. So it refers to that POB ship. Destroy. I thought I just did that. Am I still having problems here? T. Yeah, we're all right. Did I buy a ticket? No. Didn't let me do that. I've noticed with the inspiration buff as well, that was confusing me. It's like, I think if you log out, if you lose connection, you log out within like 5 or 10 minutes, you might have your inspiration buff when you log back in, but any longer than that, you lose it. And I think the idea is that keeps repeat business coming to entertainers and stuff, because the buff lasts for 5 hours. So if it persisted through multiple logins, I think the business for return business for entertainers would be too scant. So it's already pretty scant in Legends because you have 5 characters and they boosted the XP in this game, so you don't have to do quite as much grinding. So you can level up an entertainer in like 24 hours. Just leave them macroing and have your other characters watch them. You can have a max level entertainer in 24 hours. So but there are still people who enjoy doing it socially. In Mos Eisley, they're always there doing it. But if you don't want to have to queue, you can get around that pretty quick. Create your own entertainer and have your little buff bot at home who can buff you. This is not going to work, this flipping tree in the house. Fallout of internet companies keep workers at home. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, entertainer buffs, I don't know. I think they didn't always lose... you didn't always lose them through logouts. But, you know, there's so many iterations of the game and so many different things now. I don't know how much stuff is... that was introduced with Legends, or that was introduced at a later stage of the live game, or what? I have a video coming up about people installing ILM to help people, but I've actually gone back to the default graphics at the minute. I just think maybe I'm a traditionalist. I do have the what is it, reshade enabled, so I have reshaded the game a bit, made the colours look a little bit more vibrant and crisp. Probably doesn't come across on the stream, but I'm not using ILM at the minute. But it was not 100% clear how to install it, so I thought I might as well do a video for that and talk people through it. Oh, right. So let's see, if we drop this tree in the house, drop. Oh, it does drop. Fantastic. So, but it's hugely oversized, but we might be able to do something with this. Let's see if we can bring it down a little bit. Not a valid location. Up. Like and if we can start rotating things. So if I can kind of get this pickup, I'll show you my little forested bedroom. If we can get it to glitch through a wall and stuff, it might just look like a massive foliage in the corner of the room. That's what I'm thinking. So I want to hide the base essentially. That's insane. Right, so I have to be really careful here because I start picking up stuff that it took me ages to place down. And right, so let's rotate. Rotate, pitch 90. There you go. And then rotate 90. No. So once you've done the pitch, then it's roll, is it? And then it's vanished. So okay, let's bring that back. There we go. It's through the ground. I wonder if, you know what, does that go through the ground underneath? Let's have a look. No. How weird though. So you've got to be careful of losing objects here. This is my little room. It's his little room, James, where he comes to remind himself of the planet that he came from. And all these little trees, I've made up the fiction, so these are like trees from, it's just a basic tree, but I've called it a sorrel tree. So these are all plants from his home planet, because he's stuck on the desert sands of Tatooine. So pitch it. Pitch. There you go. Look. How can I... geez. It's a pain in the butt, this. If I could get it turned around the other way, then we could do something. Roll. Alright, let's roll again. And then it's facing the other way. Roll 90. There you go. And then move it over there. I want a load of, like, just bushes coming out of the side of the house. Like his... damn it. Oh, that's kind of interesting, though, isn't it? What if we can we pitch this weirdly? Give me the flipping radial. Where's the radial menu? Don't even... There we go. I really don't get this. I get super confused. Is it pitch that is going to turn it that way? So back a little bit. Back 1000. Can I do 1000? No. Back 900. 800. Nothing, no one found in that range. Back 400. Okay, so I'm doing the wrong command here. What is it again? Move back 900. Move back 500. Good stuff. There we go. I mean, this is the thing when you're trying to glitch things through walls and stuff, and then you just lose it, and it just vanishes. It's weird, I can get the base to go through the wall that way. I mean, maybe I could do that, like it's a weird sort of grove. But this, the base looks just weird. It just looks glitchy. Uh-oh. Young roaster tree. I want the potted tree. Where is it? There we go. Let's just do your again and try and get it to turn around. Rotate pitch 90. That's the way I want you to be. Why won't you go through the wall that way? Ah, you son of a gun. I don't think it's going to work. For some reason the top of the model will go through the wall, but the base won't, which is a shame. Summon radial menu. How do I do that? Is it when I can't get the actual radial? I know you want to. Where are you? Won't give me the radial menu. Is it inside the tree? There you go. Large potted tree. Pick it up. There we go. Oh well, it was worth a try. I'll put this, where can I put this for safekeeping? Shall I put it in my furniture? Well, I've got a box for furniture somewhere. Furniture, there you go. Open. So we need a smaller tree. That's not going to work. Look, if grass. It's in canon. That's in the films and everything. No, it's not. I made it up. Ithorian grass, if grass. Makes sense, doesn't it? Alright. Where are we going to? Where was I up to with my crafting? I think that might be it. Unless I want to do some reverse engineering. What have I got here? I could be doing. Reverse engineering grinding shirts. Voice chat work on a phone? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert with Discord. We could do a round of reverse engineering, I guess. Let's do a little bit of that. We can put some skill tapes on the bazaar. I got another follow from James. Oh, thank you for following me, dude. I appreciate it. Oh, where are we looking? Stream starting soon, resuming soon. Well, you know, I'm logging in my characters. We'll log in deck and get a look buff, and then we'll do some reverse engineering. I did say it was going to be a crafty stream, a very crafty stream. So I'll stick to my word. I'm on the verge of like doing some space flight and some Nova Orion stuff, but I'll stay on topic for this one. Stick to what I had in mind. People are sticking around. There's still 6 people in the chat, so you know. Cool. People stay sticky. And we'll keep doing it. There we are. Deck is on his way. Hello. We shouldn't have to listen to the repetitive music here because I've turned off player music. It's just a lot more convenient. You know, every time having to go into Mos Eisley. Oh, I would not like to go back to having to. Uni assignments. Oh, getting /2 hospitality. Right. Yeah, it seems to be happening across the board at the minute. It is crazy. I think as long as people remain calm, I think a lot of issues come from people panicking and panic buying and things. You know, obviously concern for people who are vulnerable, but the concern is the economy and the knock-on effect of things, isn't it? That's a real worry as well. Governments seem to be helping people out with loans and things, Worry for my brother who makes his money through function band, you know, for weddings and social occasions. So that's worrying, you know, if people are not gathering socially. So I don't know if he'll qualify for that small business help assistance. Hopefully he will. I would like to see people pulling together, though. You know, generally speaking, I think it would be nice. Maybe it's naive, but it would be nice to think of it as an opportunity to pull together and remind ourselves that we're all in this together. A bit of that British Blitz spirit going on in the modern day would be nice. Rather than people going in as they were this morning, buying every sausage in the butcher's. Crazy. Fools. Foolish. There is no way we're going to need a 5-hour buff with deck. Doing the exact opposite in my city. Put down trees. Retirement community residents, no contractors allowed. Hold on. What am I doing? Right. Later, James. Have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. Attributes. Alright, we're going to do some reverse engineering. This is a complicated system that requires, I think, you know, a knowledge of the game that I certainly didn't have when I started playing Legends, because it's NG stuff, post-NG stuff that I had to learn. So, okay, how to describe what I'm doing here. So the first step is to have a reverse engineering tool into which you place looted clothing, which we turn into skill attachments. We turn into power bits. Now the power bits create the power of the skill tape that you're going to be using. So the first stage is to be doing that. So we're going to turn all this looted, statted clothing into power bits. And your reverse engineering level, coupled with your luck stat, is what governs the power of the resulting power bits. So let's have a look. First things first, we're going to move everything into our inventory for ease of reference, and we'll see how we get. You won't get 35 is the maximum, and that's where the reverse engineering comes in, but you don't get the maximum by just reverse engineering a piece of clothing like this. You have to do multiples in order to get a 35, but we'll cover that in a second. We'll just see the various levels of power bit that we get initially from doing this clothing, and this is all just stuff that while I've been out fighting things with Naplu, I've just been picking this up, bringing it back and dropping it in my crate, my box. We've got the entertainer buff buffing our luck, and then I have a series of buffs here. So I've got this reverse engineering suit, which consists of a shirt with luck 35 and reverse engineering 3, a chest plate with luck 35 and reverse engineering 3. Now I could get that up to 4, haven't managed it yet. You can't get the shirt up to 3, you can get the breastplate up to 4. And I have a reverse engineering weapon, luck 35, reverse engineering 4. And these have just all been created either by me or by someone else. For instance, I bought the weapon from a weapons dealer who put a reverse engineering chance skill modifier on it, and he put the luck on it as well. See you, bud. Thanks for stopping by. So here we go. What to show you. So I show you my stats, skill mods. Luck is currently at 805. We need to get that up to over 1000, as much over 1000 as we can get it. And my reverse engineering chance is currently at 25. So I need to turn on all my reverse engineering gear, which I haven't got on at the minute. What am I missing that is not bringing it up to 25? I think it's these things. It's the power-ups. So I'm gonna use Denelian Fizz Pudding, which gives me luck. I'm gonna use Styptic Powder, which gives me luck. I've got 3 weapon power-ups which boost. Sorry, I have 3 power-ups, one for a shirt, one for armor, one for weapon, that all boost reverse engineering chance by 10. So we'll look at my stats after I've done that. I've popped all these buffs. Buffs. Right, let's have a look at what we're at now. So we're at 1116. And reverse engineering chance is at 155. It can go up to 159, but you don't need it at the max to do some decent reverse engineering. I can get it up higher than that, but you have to start spending silly money. So this works for me. So open the reverse engineering tool. And we're going to drop in all of these things. So the buffed, agile, padded gloves have a look stat of 18 and the level is 90. So it's the higher the stat boost, the better, and the higher the level, the better. So reverse engineer, a level 21 power bit. We won't worry about orders yet. We'll just do the basics. And we do this for everything. And we're looking for something like 30 is about the best. I don't know if you can get a 31 just doing this, but I have got a couple of 30s just doing this, and that means you have to do less reverse engineering, where the process gets its name from. This is not reverse engineering, this is just dismantling, really. Reverse engineering comes in a second. Well, it's not technically true, but that's how I kind of think of it. So reverse engineer takes a while, but unlike the other crafting professions, this is something that you can actively do. You know, you need to be at the keyboard, you need to be actively doing it. It's a different kind of crafting that I kind of enjoy. Okay, so anything with 3 stats on, we're not going to reverse engineer right now. We need that at the end of the process to create a third order power bit. So if we reverse engineer that now, that's not productive. We need to save those ones with the 3 stats for later. So anything with 3 stats, I forgot I'd got that, and I have accidentally reverse engineered things in the past. And all I'm aware of is trying to get as much done while my buffs are running as possible. Actually, I should use the Shard of Retaliation here. That buffs my luck by another 200, I think. So now our luck is 1316. Should have done that from the beginning. But that might increase our chance here. Some of these aren't level 90 gear, so we won't get the best power bits from them. That's okay. Don't matter too much. It's just and the higher you can initially get the reverse engineered gear, the better, because it means you have to use less modifier bits to reverse engineer. I'll talk about that in a sec. Let me get all these done and then I'll talk about that. Padded pullover. Whoops. Reverse engineer. Like I say, it doesn't matter whether they're first order or second order power bits. They're just all gravy. It's all the same to us at the moment. So they're not too bad. A couple of rubbish rolls on the look table. Okay. Oh, welcome back, Guardian. So 21. The 18 is rubbish. It's just not cost effective to be reverse engineering those, really. Be nice if you could just shift click a ton of them and just drag everything all at once, but perhaps asking for a little bit too much. So I'll try and do one skill tape just to show how it works on the stream. the next stage of the reverse engineering process, as it were. And we have only one third order power bit, which is perfect for demonstration purposes, isn't it? Okay, so we'll reverse engineer 3, and I had a 30 here. Where is it? One that came out at 30. 23, 25, 19, 26. Where are you? There you are. So we'll do the 26. We'll do the highest, whatever the highest ones are. 26, 27 there. We'll do those 3. So I'll put them in my other little crate here. Got all my reverse engineering crates close to each other. So the next stage of the reverse engineering process is to do that again on shirts that we've created. So we've got these reverse engineering grinding shirts that I've made myself. Each one has a socket, and we repeatedly reverse engineer each shirt with this second order power bit, which is currently at 30, and we're going to get it up to 35 by doing this. But in order to do that, we need some grinding modifier bits. So let me put these in my reverse engineering. So you need 2 pieces of junk loot to create a modifier bit. And for what I'm doing clothing attachments. So I don't want any exotic things. That's like droid engineering, reverse engineering, block chance, evasion, anything. I don't want anything like that. I just want the basic stats. So agility, precision, whatever. Those will allow me to create skill tapes for clothing. The other ones can only go on shirts, and although we're reverse engineering with shirts, I just do that so I have the option to do exotics, but generally speaking I don't. So if I put these 2 things together, we'll see what we get, and I think it's just junk. So it's an agility modifier bit, so I can do that, like just keep doing that, and we get a load of agility modifier bits, and then a load of these socketed grinding shirts. As I said, I created these myself, and I'm always doing that. I like move my furniture because I have my movement thing, so let me change that. So I'm moving that table in the background like a fool. So let's do this. So we put the shirt, not the shirt, let's create a skill tape. This is the first stage. So that power bit and the modifier, agility modifier bit in the reverse engineering tool. I created a power up, and that's how you create a power up, and it's as simple as that. I have an agility power up, 214 of them. That might be useful for Naplu. But for right now we won't worry about that. Let me put that in there. But if you're going to create the skill tapes, it's a little bit more complicated. So I've used up one of my power bits there, which was not my intention. So I would like to say I planned that, but I didn't. I clicked the wrong button. This is the kind of elite gameplay you're going to get. So create skill enhancing attachment. Go. I'm going slow so I can talk it through. Agility attachment onto the shirt. So that is now a socketed shirt with an agility attachment of 23. So we drag that into the reverse engineering tool, just as we did with the initial piece of loot, then reverse engineer again, and it's gone up from 27 to 28. So that is reverse engineering in a nutshell. You are, each time you're reverse engineering the object and you're getting slightly better. So dragging the skill tape onto the shirt, reverse engineer, 29. Agility. We'll get this up to a 35 hopefully in not too much time. And as you can see, so as you can tell, it's already up to a 30. If we'd used that 30, we wouldn't have had to waste resources on those earlier. But there we go. There we go. Reverse engineer, skill enhancing attachment. and it's good. It's quite satisfying. I think it gives crafters something to do when their factories are running and they haven't got anything actively to craft. I think if you have a more interactive, actually Domestics Trader is more interactive. If I wanted it to be, I could be creating custom outfits for people and constantly creating interesting clothing. But when it comes to the food and stuff, really it's just a case of doing the manufacturing blueprint, sticking it in the factory, and then it's off and running, and there's not much you can do to either speed up the process or be actively doing anything. So reverse engineering is quite different to that. So we're up to 34. I suppose I should do a 35 shirt in total, just to show it on the stream. This is the kind of thing that we should really have some music for. And I do have some music set up for you to be using on stream that's not going to get copyright struck. But I need to do that. Let's just get this one up to 35. Come on, dude. Just this last little bit. It always takes a little bit longer, and this is the part that can be potentially a bit frustrating, to get up from 34 to 35. I could make it a little bit easier on myself by getting my reverse engineering level up a bit, but it doesn't take too long. There's the first 35. And stack created depends on the stack created will ultimately depend on the final stage. So all we're doing at the minute is increasing power bits until we have 3 level 35 power bits, and then we will use specific modifier bits to tell the final skill tape exactly what stats are going to be on it. So we're not quite at that stage yet. Right now we're just reverse engineer, and we just repeat that process like crazy. Currently I'm making agility shirts. So I think I have 2 modifier bits, so it'll probably be agility, constitution, and what's the last one? Agility, constitution, and luck I have got. So we'll put 1 agility bit in there. We'll say the final skill tape we're going to make is agility, constitution, luck. Just because I have those available, basically. Alright, see if we can get this up to 35 without having to open another crate of reverse engineering shirts. Create skill attachment. Well, I suppose this will be the deciding factor. If people sit through me doing this, they will sit through anything. We'll see if I put this up on YouTube how that goes as well. Because I think when I don't know about you guys, but when I watch Twitch, I watch for different reasons. I don't watch for like a concise video that gets to the point and tells me something really quickly. I just watch to sort of hang out and chill. And I think with that in mind, this kind of thing is probably okay for Twitch, but maybe if you did this kind of rambly thing on YouTube, people wouldn't stick around for it. But we'll see. I'll package this video up into like a VOD for YouTube, and we'll see if anyone watches it. It'd be an interesting experiment to see if it happens. And generally, like about halfway through this, when my styptic powder in the top left runs out, I have a little bit of a break in my reverse engineering because it's so repetitive. But I'm talking to you guys at the minute, but if I were doing this off stream, I would be listening to, I would have a stream on. I'd be watching people stream or listening to an audiobook or something like that. I wouldn't be like staring at the screen in this way, because it's something you can do pretty mindlessly in the background once you know what you're doing, as long as you don't make those silly mistakes, which I do. It's like occasionally click the wrong button and then you waste a power bit, which can be annoying. Alright, we've got the second one nearly up to 35. It's 33. I'm sorry the resolution of my stream is not great, so you can't see exactly like all the text and stuff. I've been told that on Twitch, if you're not partnered, I'm an affiliate, which is pretty easy to get to that stage, but if you're not partnered and you up the bit rate of your stream significantly to increase the resolution, it can cause buffering issues. But I think it's different for partners. They kind of accommodate, they kind of make allowances for that. So we got 235s already, 235 power bits. Jedi Guide now, good help. Oh, thank you, Ambumana. Thank you for joining the chat. I appreciate it. It's nice for you to stop by. Okay. Where are we? Let's try and find one that, so we don't have to do. I think the highest I've got now is a 20. I've got one last 26. And you see, I don't know how familiar you guys are or have tried reverse engineering perhaps, but the guides make it sound very intimidating, and it is complicated. However, they make it sound like it takes forever to get a skill tape up to a power bit up to 35, and it doesn't. As long as you've got your, I mean, it takes a lot of money to get decent enough stats so it doesn't take a long time. But as long as you can get to that stage, and you have, like, I have 155 reverse engineering, as long as you can get there, I'm having no problems. And assuming we're all created equal, which we are in this game, if you can get your reverse engineering up to that level, it doesn't take very long to create a 35 at all. We've created 2 already. I have no idea if any of this is making sense. I'm trying to make as much sense as possible, but I am aware it's a weird system. I know I would like to go back to find some of the old posts on the Galaxy's like forums and websites from the devs, just to see kind of the impetus behind the reverse engineering system. I've always assumed it was in order to make the junk loot and the statted clothing in the game, to give them more of a purpose, because I've always liked the fact that there's so much junk and weird stuff in Galaxies. Oh, need to keep using the fizz pudding. Without that, my skill drops with luck drops under 1000. So create, yeah, statted clothing and make junk loot good, because I've always liked the fact there's loads of junk, but there was never a use for it before. You could decorate your house with it, and it's a nice flavor thing, but reverse engineering gives all those lovely 3D models of junk in the Star Wars Galaxy a reason for being. You can reverse engineer it, and it's very Star Warsy, you know. It's always been a kind of a junky world where it seems like people are just getting by with making things work and everything's falling to bits, and maybe reverse engineering things and jury rigging equipment. It's very in keeping to Star Wars. It seems like it to me anyway. Can I use the Shard of Retaliation again? We can. It's been activated, so that bumps me up nicely, but sometimes it doesn't seem to make any effect. All we need to go is from 33 to 34 here. So reverse engineer, come on. 33, 34. No, that's not it. My new jacket. 34. Nearly there. One more 35. That's all we want. Probably worse when you're streaming as well. Things seem to take longer when you're aware that people are watching. 35. Boom. Yeah, it's a lot simpler. I think it's nice to hear people talk. Sometimes the guides get a little bit wordy and waffly sometimes, and I think they're often written by people who are very entrenched in the game and kind of forget that other people don't actually have the basic knowledge. So some of the stuff is kind of lost unless you explain it from the ground up which people don't always do. All right, so we're at the stage now where we're going to create the actual skill tape. So we're going to make it an agility, constitution, and luck skill tape. So we've got modifier bits for each of those. So this is really simple, and your stats don't figure in here. You will just get what you put into the tool. So open the tool. We're going to drop a first order power bit. We do have a problem here, because it doesn't matter if the first stat, the power bit you use, is first order or second order. That doesn't matter. But for the second stat, because you're putting a second stat onto the skill tape, it needs to be a second order power bit. And ours have all come out as 35s, but all first order power bits. So we need a second order power bit, and I think I do know how to do that. It doesn't happen very often, because usually you get a mix of the two, first or second. You never get a third, by the way. So we're going to do some more reverse engineering. Who could have guessed it? But this time we're not looking for the power to go up at all. We're just looking for the power bit to change from a first to a second order power bit, right? So create skill attachment, exactly the same. It's not going to go down because our stats are high enough that we're not going to lose that 35, but it might turn into a second order power bit. Reverse engineer, second order power bit. So now we have the second order 35 that we need. So we can go back. So first order power bit and an agility modifier bit. Reverse engineer, create skill attachment. There's the first stat on our skill attachment. Now to add the second one, we're going to put the skill tape back in the reverse engineering tool. Then the second order power bit. Then the second stat that we want, which I'm going to make constitution. So in there. Then create skill enhancing attachment. Now we have the skill attachment with agility and constitution 35. Now to do the third stat, we need this item that is that statted clothing that has 3 stats on it. You need an item with either 3 stats or 4 stats. Now let me remind myself how to do this. That's it. Okay, so we are going to create, again, a skill enhancing attachment, a junk one, right? Just as we did before. And create skill enhancing attachment. Attach it to a shirt. And it's exactly the same process we've been doing so far. So drag that shirt into there. But this time we put this piece of loot in there with the 3 stats on it, and reverse engineer those 2 things together. Reverse engineer, and you get a third order power bit. And that's the way to get that third stat, which I think often trips people up. So we'll put the third stat on, agility, clothing attachment, the third order power bit, and the luck is the final stat. Create skill enhancing attachment, and there we are. That's a basic 35, an agility, constitution, luck, 35 skill attachment, and that's how people do it. Not that complicated, is it? Just each step of the way you have to remember what the hell you're doing so you don't make mistakes and lose all your flipping resources like I did there. This thing's wrong and you lose stuff. We put that in there, so we used all that junk loot and we've got all that stuff to reverse engineer. And the expensive thing and the potentially time consuming thing is gathering all the junk loot. You can do that by farming these mods that drop it. And what else? Yeah, if you're not going to do that, then you need to start spending money on the junk loot. So did that make sense, guys? Was that any use? If it was, I'll put this up on YouTube. I'm never really sure whether to do that, but we'll see. So that's we've done a good bit of crafting today, and we sold some stuff. Look, that stuff on Tatooine. We sold some Kamerkan steak. That's why I'm restocking that and making some more in my ovens at the minute. People really like it seems like. Like I say, I haven't been able to cap it this time though. Oh cool, good thing. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. All right. We'll see if this sweet cake mix has finished brewing. We stopped listening to Deck because he's too far away. Actually, we would prefer to not listen to Deck at all because he can barely play his flipping pugil stick, whatever it is. Why is that taking so long? It doesn't usually take that long. Surely not. Stop manufacturing. We're going. I mean, I can't go any faster. Shall I make some more reverse engineering grinding shirts for future so I don't have to do them? I'm not going to run out. Chop it up and throw it on YouTube. Actually, chopping it up doesn't seem to help these days. People seem to watch longer videos. Weird. I think YouTube is broken. I tried doing shorter videos. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work for me. They just don't seem to get the views. YouTube is a puzzle. For sure, but I like Twitch. I think Twitch is more chilled. So it's nice to do streams occasionally for a bit of a change. And it means I don't have to edit flipping videos. I can just play. Okay, what was I doing? Reverse engineering shirts. Let's create some of those. Organics? What do I need? A reverse engineering shirt. Yeah, I think I prefer long videos as well. Just have them on in the background. So I do a simple shirt. Simple shirt. Where is it? Those are pants. Why am I looking at that? So for that reverse engineering process, you obviously need crates full of socketed shirts, and so I just keep creating those every now and again. And these are all. I also put them on my vendor, and in the meantime, people who need them can come along and buy them if they like. 5,000 credits for a shirt of 20, a crate of 25 seems reasonable to me, and a few people have bought them up. So as long as I title it something that makes sense that people can find, because it's not necessarily a specific resource category, it's a very specific thing people are looking for. So I call it reverse engineering shirt or something of that ilk. Just so it shows up in the vendor search for people who may be looking. So we'll create a factory, a manufacturing schematic for these. Oh, I thought I'd picked up some. Did I not pick up the fiberplast? I may have dragged it into another crate. I did. The funny things that happen in Star Wars. That was hilarious. Assemble. Okay, so is it socketed? No, it's not socketed. So I don't have the best stats with the tailoring side for Snort because you need a whole different crafting suit for tailoring. But I do have the basic crafting assembly, so he'll occasionally get a socketed item as long as I keep trying. And this is all cheap, grindy material, so I'm not wasting too much money doing this. Assemble, go. A socket, nice. So create manufacturing schematic. What should we call it? Reverse engineering shirts times. I think I can risk putting times 25. Oh, I need to make sure that people know it's socketed reverse engineering shirts. Is socketed 2 T's or 1 T? I cannot remember, and I don't care either. Reverse engineering socketed reverse engineering shirts. Go. Right, we've got the manufacturing schematic, and now, what was it? I think it was 16 fiberplast and 4 metal, which comes out at 4,000 metal and 16,000 fiberplast, because we're making 1,000 units, so we just multiply by 1,000. Fiberplast. I only figured this out recently after playing the game for like 15 years. You just drag the resources over the crate like that. I always opened the crate and put them in like a pleb. What have we sold? Let's have a look. This is a proper... this is good, actually. I don't usually sell things as consistently as this, so while I'm streaming and doing crafting, it's good that we sell things. Probably makes it look like you sell things more often than you actually do. I've sold a few things while we've been streaming. So... flame out, someone buying single flame outs, which that's fine. You know, sometimes people don't have money for big factory crates full of stuff, so I always try and put individual stuff on the vendors as well. Don't assume everyone has millions of pounds to spend. Sometimes people just are just starting out and just want individual items of food and drink. So that's as simple as that. Start manufacturing objects. Good stuff. It's a word. Is there a reason you use shirts as opposed to pants? Yes, there is. The shirts allow you to create exotic skill attachments. If you have pants or whatnot, you can only do the clothing attachments. So I do clothing attachments most of the time, but if you want to do an exotic attachment, you need a shirt. So I just make all my grinding stuff shirts. So I have that option, but like I say, I don't do that very often. Mainly because it's a crapshoot what people are looking for. So I try to do some exotics with like armor smith, stuff for weaponsmith, some stuff for reverse engineering. I did one with block and glancing blow for a Jedi to potentially use, but you know, there you go. All right, well, I think I'll call the stream. I can't think of what else to do there with my crafting stuff, but it might be nice to kind of stop in with my crafter every now and again when we're doing some crafting stuff, see how it's going. But obviously it's a different kind of stream, so I really appreciate like you guys sticking around and watching this. It's an experiment for me, so we'll see how it goes. With regards to streaming, I'm planning on streaming a little bit more regularly, so I hope to see you again soon. I don't want to nail it down to specific times and specific days, but I am going to be streaming a little bit more. So I hope you will join me for that, and I will see you later. See what I think. My wife has made me some toad in the hole. My wife. Okay, guys. Deck, what are you doing?